Hello there Capricorn, and welcome to your September reading with me, Age of Aquarius Tarot. The way that I work is I'll pull 3 major arcana just to get the overarching energy and messages for the month of September for you, and then we'll delve into a traditional 9-card spread. So these majors represent what might become important in the month of September, or certain energies that you might be guided towards. We have the Fool, the High Priestess, and the World. Okay. So initially the Fool is about new beginnings, and it's also about having a kind of new curious energy about the world and not being burdened by certain things from the past or certain circumstances that perhaps were maybe stopping you. It's a sort of carefree energy where you kind of go out and you don't expect a lot, but also don't impose your expectations, and that's usually when the best things come to you. Next to that we have the High Priestess. The High Priestess is about hidden knowledge. It's also a kind of divine feminine energy. So I would say for some of you, if this is about feminine energy, we'll delve into that with the 9-card spread. Right now it's just too early to tell, but I think for you Capricorn, with the World card here being your final overarching major, the Fool and the World suggest kind of getting out there. It's also about endings and beginnings. The World is much more of a card about the external world and things that maybe you feel drawn towards. The tarot is always seen as the Fool's journey throughout all of the different aspects of the tarot. So here the Fool is essentially kind of like the beginning, and the World is like reaching that final stage. So it'll be very interesting to see your 9-card spread and see what this pertains to. But we'll come back to these throughout the reading. Okay. You have the World twice, Capricorn. They really want to give you a message about that. Okay, well we'll go row by row here. In the first row you have the 5 of Cups, which is a card that I generally associate with kind of emotional difficulty, something that's very hard to get over. This could be a person or it could be a situation for you. It's kind of pointing perhaps to it being a person. You do have a lot of people cards in this spread, Capricorn. But the middle card here is, with the 8 of Pentacles, is suggesting that now's a time for hard work, for grounding, for working on yourself. The 8 of Pentacles speaks of a mastery. So it can mean like perhaps throwing yourself into work, throwing yourself into a passionate endeavour to get over whatever this sadness is. It might, for some of you, I'm getting a kind of feeling with the World showing up here twice that perhaps the cards are suggesting that you can't let one setback be it, like you can't throw in the towel after just one setback. The reason that I say that is because we have the 5 of Cups, which is like the sad card, and then we have the 8 of Pentacles, which is like the hard work, and then your like resolving energy for September here is the 10 of Cups, which is one of the happiest cards in the deck. So it's like harmony, things being stable. It might also suggest that whatever job you do is kind of more like a trade. So perhaps if it's not going your way, don't feel discouraged. If this is about a business, for the month of September, it's about throwing yourself behind that hard work and really like persevering through the difficulties and the challenges and not letting them stop you, because you do have a very strong indicator that things are absolutely going to go your way for the month of September. In the middle row you have the Two of Cups, it's in reverse, you have the Page of Wands, and then you have the Five of Swords also in reverse. So the twos to me are about enlightenment. They're also about perhaps a duality. Here, because it's in the row with the Five of Swords, I'm kind of more pulled towards saying that it's about a conflict, and because this row is very, like, people heavy in terms of imagery, it kind of suggests to me that perhaps you've had a falling out with a particular person, and the best advice for what I can give you right now for the month of September is to just kind of, like, give things time. We'll pull some clarifiers for this situation. I don't want to pull them too early because I want to read what we have first. But it suggests that whatever this disharmony is perhaps something that has prompted you to kind of try and focus again on yourself a little bit. Pages are kind of like a self-centered energy, but in a good way. So here with the Page of Wands, what it's saying to me is again, like, focus on yourself, focus on your passions, what makes you happy, taking care of yourself first. Kind of get out there and see the world. For some of you, this might be see things from other people's perspective, if this is about an argument or a disagreement. For others of you, I just get a feeling that this is an energy that you just need to let calm down for the month of September. I don't feel that it's going to drag on. I think it will be an eventual resolution. But whatever it is that's kind of creating this disharmony and this conflict with others, it's best to focus on yourself. So quite often people have like a way of arguing where they kind of point out other people's flaws and other people's problems, like a you know what your problem is kind of thing. But the cards are kind of suggesting, with this middle card being the most important, and I would again say with the Fool here, it's kind of have like a self-centered energy, but in a good way. Like, reflect on yourself, reflect if the energy's too volatile and you don't feel like you can interact with whoever this is or whatever the situation is without bringing anger and hostility into it, then just kind of like be within yourself. On the bottom row you have the Star, the World, so again, and the Two of Pentacles, it's in reverse. So the Star to me speaks about patience and also about divine timing. It takes a very long time to feed a well. But the kind of conviction to keep going is there. So this can mean a project or an endeavour that's been like maybe in a long-term planning phase, or it's something that it's been like you've had to deal with some minor setbacks, but it set you back in terms of like when you can start something. And September, the World, this is when you're going to start it, whatever it is. I feel like perhaps it's something that you've kind of been feeling like, is there a right time to do this? Has time kind of been passing me by? And here I feel like you have a lot to juggle. So the Two of Pentacles in reverse is like there's a lot to balance here, and I'm kind of struggling with it. But overall, like, again, because the Page of Wands is the center card and you have the High Priestess, which is kind of about like the mystical powers. It's like something within you that perhaps you didn't even know you had. And again with the World, like another confirmation. Whatever this is that you're unsure about, or has been in a planning phase, or you've kind of felt like it's a long journey to get it started, it looks like it is absolutely worth it. But we'll pull some clarifiers for the rows, just to give you a bit more context. Oops. I'll just go and grab that one. Okay. So for this top row outcome, or like a device, you've gotten the Empress in reverse. So that's really, the Empress is kind of saying that don't worry, the abundance will come your way. It might not look like it right now with the Five of Cups. It's like maybe right now all you see is problems or difficulties and it's kind of giving you a headache. But it's like, it's more like it's the worry that the abundance won't come, but it absolutely will, Capricorn. Whatever this is about, whether this is perhaps like returning back to school, whether this is about taking a chance with something that you feel like it's going to require a lot of work. Like sometimes things are difficult because of the amount of work they require, rather than actually being difficult to understand or whatever the case may be. But the Empress in reverse is like, it's just that you're worried that the positivity won't manifest, but I would say that it absolutely will. So you really just have to keep on with that. And with the Fool and the High Priestess being your overarching majors for September, I feel like the strength is almost like saying the strength is within you. So you have to focus less on the kind of maybe prioritizing being upset about the setbacks and kind of being like, how can I come back from this? I know that's very easy to say, and it's definitely a difficult thing to do, but I feel like it is, with the High Priestess here specifically, it's like it is within you. And the Page of Wands is like fire energy, that's curiosity, passion, getting out there and seeing the world. It's also a very kind of like not letting the kind of beaten down experiences stop you. The Page of Wands is like a fresh energy, it's a new energy, and if this is something that you've been kind of beginning for a while, or it's something that you feel like you should have seen rewards from by now, you definitely will for the month of September. The situation here that I get in the middle, the Two of Swords speaks to me about a choice that's kind of already been made, because on the card she's holding the two swords there. She kind of knows like that there's only two probable outcomes, and when there's two probable outcomes, I always feel like somewhere deep within your mind you kind of know which one you're favouring. Like it's like if you were to toss a coin and you get like secretly in that like second one, the coin's in the air, you have that feeling like, oh, I hope it's this outcome that I get. And when it's not, you're like, oh, I wish I had gotten that outcome. So it's like you always have an intuitive drive about what to, like, when you've made up your mind about a situation. So if that is the case for you and you do have some kind of intuition pulling you, I would say follow it. The final row outcome about perhaps the project or the situation that's been a long time coming, but it's going to be like a big payoff with the world and you're struggling in balancing it. The advice here for you is the Seven of Swords. It's in reverse. To me, the Seven of Swords is a card of realizing what it is you need to do to make something happen. So it's kind of like sometimes we have the answer but we don't want to action it because that means actually doing stuff. And here it's like if you know what it is that you need to do, then you should follow that kind of inner calling. If at the moment it's like you really want to do this but you're unsure of what it is that you need to do, I would say that in the month of September you are going to find out whatever that is, whatever it is that might fix like your circumstances in a way that you can pursue whatever this project or ambition is. The reason that I say that specifically is because of the High Priestess card that you have here. And again, that's like, it's like hidden knowledge. So it's like perhaps right now you don't have all the answers, but the answers are coming, especially with the Fool next to that High Priestess. And the world kind of also speaks to me like within this deck, it's the Aquarian Tarot by David Palladini. The world represents a woman and it's like she's facing what is at the four corners of the earth. And here it's kind of like being out there. It's like I've seen, I almost kind of want to say I've seen it all, but in a sense that like you've seen it all about your specific situation. So it's kind of like nothing can surprise you at this point. You're balancing those pentacles, and maybe you're like struggling, but it's like that struggle here is coming to an end. Like if there is ever a good time, speaking specifically with the star about timing, if there is ever a right time to pursue this, I would say that September is that month for whatever it is. I kind of want to pull maybe a couple more cards about whatever this conflict is that you've got going on. The Five of Swords in reverse is like a conflict with other people. It can mean like prizing your ego and your like point of view over others. Standing your ground in a kind of like self-assured way, in a way that it's like, oh, I can't possibly be wrong. I'm not saying necessarily that this is you, Capricorn, it might be someone close to you. So, because it's a general reading, the energies are interchangeable. Okay. Okay, Queen of Wands, that's fire energy. Okay, Seven of Pentacles. And we'll pull one more. Okay, Queen of Swords. You have the Queen of Wands and you have the Queen of Swords. So this can kind of be like a, it's like a mind over matter, perhaps, like argument, or somewhere where it's really obvious to one person that they're making logical sense, but the other person's like, but this is like my passion or something, or this is something I feel really strongly about and I want to do it anyway. Again, when I said that perhaps it's time to just like let things lie and not interact with the situation further and just take your time, you've gotten the Seven of Pentacles, which is the classic like waiting for like the harvest card. So it might just mean like for the month of September, if you're arguing with someone, just hold off, like hold off on creating conflicts. Again, I know that that's very easy to say and like quite hard to do, because I mean, like, you know, if you're living with somebody, perhaps it's very easy to get into arguments. But I would say this is a situation that seems like it probably is going to resolve itself. I think, though, for the month of September, what's more important and what's gonna, like, advance the, like, making up, if you like, is just giving it that time that it needs. Yeah, so, Eight of Wands, that's about, like, sudden news or things happening quite quickly. I mean, it's interesting that it's like that Eight of Wands is juxtaposed next to that Seven of Pentacles. To me, that's like, are you rushing in to perhaps say or do things that you think are going to make up the situation? But it's like sometimes we think we're doing the right thing and then someone gets upset at something someone else says in passing. And it's like, perhaps you wouldn't have gotten upset if you'd both been given that time to kind of just let things naturally calm down. So whatever this argument or disagreement is, whether it's like with friends, acquaintances, family, or in a relationship, the best outcome here is just to like let things lie, just look within. I don't get a sense that this is going to drag on forever. Perhaps like for some of you, this is something that you're hoping to resolve, so then there I would say that the advice is like, think calmly about the way that you approach things, from like the words you say, the words you use, and your kind of intent, your mental intent, and also kind of think about the sensitivities of the other person. Think about how the situation can be developed in a way that isn't going to cause more conflict. I'm just looking over the cards to see if there's anything else that I may have missed. Yeah, I would say overall as an energy for you for the month of September, Capricorn, there is some work. I mean, with all of these, like these three cards, the Star, the Page of Wands, and the Eight of Pentacles, there is some work that's required of you, but it's like, it's work that's only going to make you like stronger. It's only going to bring you good and abundant. So definitely it's like a month of really like focusing on yourself, and there's some really big returns, especially if there's something that you've really been waiting for, is like divine timing is stepping in here. So it's kind of like focus on yourself, not other people, this month. Yeah, I wish you a lot of luck with that, Capricorn. All the best to you, and thank you for your attention. If you want to leave me any feedback in the comments, please go for it. And that's all from me. Thank you.